Hello everyone, you're welcome to another math class. Today in our mathematics class, we'll be looking at multiplication of fractions. Multiplication of fractions. In an earlier class, we looked at addition and subtraction of like fractions, and there we saw that to add like fractions, all you just need to do is add the numerators together. The numerators are the numbers at the top, and then you write it over whatever answer you got. You get whatever the sum is, you write it over the denominator. Remember, we say you do not add the denominators together. You just pick the denominator as a digit and you write it. But the numerators, you add them. And if it is subtraction, you only subtract the numerators as well. You subtract the smaller numerator from the bigger numerator, and you write the sum, the difference, which is the answer you get when you subtract, over the denominator. It's just as simple as that. So today we are looking at multiplication of fractions. Multiplication of fraction is also very easy, okay? It's easy, and we are going to, as much as possible, stick with this level, what you can handle, okay? So what is multiplication? Multiplication is when you times number, depending on the other number you have. If you have 2 and you have something like this, 2 times 3, this is multiplication operation. What does it mean? They are asking you 2 multiplied by 3. That means 2 in 3 places. Any number times another number simply means that number in the number of places of the second number. For instance, 2 multiplied by 3 simply means 2 in 3 places. 2 in 3 places is also the same thing as 3 times 2, which is 3 in 2 places. So this is just what multiplication means. It means it can also be a repeated addition. So for instance, 2 times 3 can also be 2 plus 2 plus 2. That means 2 in 3 places. So when we talk of multiplication, it means just expressing one number in the number of times of the second number, and you get your answer. Okay, so when you are multiplying fractions, all you need to do is multiply the numerators, that is the numbers at the top, together. You use one numerator to multiply the second numerator, you get your answer, and you rule your line. Remember that short horizontal line that separates the numerator from the denominator. So when you multiply the two numerators, write the answer and then write your short horizontal line under. You draw the line and then you go to the denominators. You do the same thing. So numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. That's what this whole thing is just trying to explain. So what you need to do is multiply the numerators of the two fractions and write the product. Product is the answer you get. And write the product over the product of the denominators. Okay? So we're going to look at some examples so you understand more clearly what I'm explaining. So let's look at this example. Now, before we move to the example, let's quickly look at this. I just tried to represent it here so that we know what multiplication of fractions is all about. So all that thing I was trying to explain is simply put down like this. This is just a simple way to show it. And what's here? Numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. So let's look at this example, and then we use what we have summarized here to try and solve this problem. Okay? It's very simple. Now let's look at this example we have on the board. We have 2 fractions, and that means we have 2 numerators, and then we have 2 denominators. Every fraction has a numerator and a denominator. Numerator, denominator. So what do? We do the numerator times numerator. So the first numerator here is 1, and the second numerator is 2. We rule a horizontal line. The first denominator is 2 and the second denominator is 3. It's as simple as that. So what do we do next to get an answer? You do 1 times 2. Okay, so 1 times 2 is 2, and then your 2 times 3 is what? 6. So your answer is 2 over 6, or 2/6. Remember, we mentioned the names of fractions, so this is your answer. I'm sure it's very simple, right? Okay, let's take one more example. Okay, so example 2. Let's look at, let's look at 3 over 4 times 1 over 7. Okay, let's reduce the number. Times 1 over 2. I don't want it to have two numbers that are too large, okay? So looking at this, how do we go about this? We come back here. The way to multiply fractions is simply numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. So we come here. So numerator, the first numerator is 3 and the second numerator is 1 over, you rule a horizontal line. The first denominator here is 4 and the second denominator is 2. So you have 3 times 1, that is 3, rule your horizontal line, and 4 times 2 is 8, and that is your answer. It's as simple as that. Okay, so I'm just glad that video actually is something you can watch over and over again. We are done, and I believe that with these 2 examples we'll be able to solve multiplication problems when we encounter them. So I hope to see you again next week. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed.